I stood at the altar in my white wedding dress in front of 200 people. My fiancé looked me in the eyes. And then he said, "I cannot do this." And he walked out. He left me there. Destroyed me in front of everyone I loved. I spent 3 years thinking it was my fault. 3 years wondering what I did wrong. Until my sister found a bank statement that changed everything. A $50,000 payment from my own mother to the man who abandoned me. And when I confronted her, she said she would do it again. If you want to know what happened next, make sure you subscribe to her words because this story is going to break you. My name is Rebecca. I am 29 years old now. But this story starts 3 years ago when I was 26, the day I was supposed to get married. The day that was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. But instead it became the day that destroyed me. This is my story. I met Daniel when I was 22 years old. We met at a bookstore. I was looking for a book and could not reach the top shelf. Daniel was tall. He grabbed the book for me. He smiled. We started talking. And 3 hours later we were still standing in that bookstore talking. About everything. Books. Life. Dreams. I felt something with him I had never felt before. Like I had known him my whole life. We started dating a week later. Daniel was a teacher. He taught English at a high school. He did not make a lot of money, but he loved what he did. He loved his students. He was kind and patient and thoughtful. He made me laugh. He made me feel safe. He made me feel loved. My mother Patricia did not like Daniel from the very beginning. The first time I brought him home for dinner, she barely spoke to him. She asked him what he did for work. When he said he was a teacher, she made a face. After Daniel left that night, my mother said to me, "Is that really the kind of man you want to be with, Rebecca? A teacher?" I said, "Yes, Mom. He is kind. He makes me happy." My mother shook her head. "Kind does not pay bills," she said. "You deserve someone successful. Someone who can give you a good life." I ignored her. I loved Daniel, and I did not care that he was not rich. We were happy together. That was all that mattered to me. Daniel and I dated for 4 years. We moved in together. We talked about our future. We wanted to get married, have kids, build a life together. And then one evening Daniel took me to the same bookstore where we met. He got down on one knee. He pulled out a ring. And he asked me to marry him. I said yes. I was so happy I cried. We went home and called our families to tell them the news. My father Robert congratulated us. My younger sister Sarah screamed with excitement. But my mother Patricia said very little. She said congratulations in a cold voice. And then she hung up. I knew my mother was not happy, but I did not care. I was marrying the man I loved. And nothing was going to stop me. We planned the wedding. For 6 months later, I picked out my dress. We chose a beautiful venue. We sent out invitations to 200 people. My best friend Jenny was my maid of honor. Daniel's brother was his best man. Everything was perfect. Everything was coming together exactly how I wanted. But my mother kept making comments. Every time I saw her, she would say something. "Are you sure about this, Rebecca? It is not too late to change your mind." Or "Daniel seems nice, but is he really what you want for the rest of your life?" Or "I just want you to be happy and I'm not sure he can give you the life you deserve." I told her to stop. I told her I loved Daniel and I was marrying him no matter what she said. My mother would just smile and say, "Okay, Rebecca. I'm just looking out for you." The week before the wedding, my mother was acting strange. She kept calling me, asking me questions about Daniel. Where was he? What was he doing? Was he nervous about the wedding? I thought it was weird, but I did not think too much about it. I was too busy with last-minute wedding preparations. The day before the wedding, we had the rehearsal dinner. All of our family and friends were there. Daniel and I were so happy. We kept looking at each other and smiling. We could not believe we were getting married the next day. My mother was there, but she was quiet. She barely talked to anyone. She left early saying she did not feel well. That night I stayed at my parents' house. It was tradition. The bride and groom were not supposed to see each other the night before the wedding. I went to bed excited. I could not sleep. I kept thinking about walking down the aisle, seeing Daniel waiting for me, saying our vows, starting our life together. The next morning I woke up early. Jenny came over to help me get ready. My hair, my makeup, my dress. I looked in the mirror and I felt beautiful. I felt like a princess. This was my day. My fairy tale. We drove to the church. It was a beautiful church with big stained glass windows. There were flowers everywhere, white roses, my favorite. The church was full. 200 people. Family, friends, co-workers, everyone we loved was there. I stood in the back room waiting for the music to start. Jenny stood next to me holding my bouquet. She was crying happy tears. "You look so beautiful," she said. "Daniel is going to cry when he sees you." I smiled. I felt so happy. So loved, so ready. The music started. The doors opened. My father Robert walked up to me. He held out his arm. I took it. We started walking down the aisle. Everyone stood up. Everyone was looking at me, smiling. I saw Daniel standing at the altar. He was wearing a black suit. He looked handsome, but he also looked nervous. Really nervous. I thought it was just normal. Wedding nerves. I smiled at him. We reached the altar. My father kissed my cheek and sat down. I stood across from Daniel. The pastor started talking, but I was not really listening. I was just looking at Daniel, looking at the man I was about to marry, and then I noticed something. Daniel was not looking at me. He was looking down at the floor. His hands were shaking. He looked pale. Really pale. "Daniel," I whispered. "Are you okay?" He looked up at me. His eyes were filled with tears. "I am sorry, Rebecca," he said quietly. What I said. I did not understand. Daniel looked at the pastor, then at the guests, then back at me. "I am so sorry," he said louder now. "I cannot do this." The room went silent. Everyone was staring at us. I felt. My heart stopped. "What are you talking about?" I said. My voice was shaking. Daniel took a step back. "I cannot marry you," he said. "I am sorry. I just cannot do this." And then he turned around. And he walked away. He walked down the aisle, past all the guests, out the door, and he was gone. I stood there at the altar, in my white wedding dress, holding my bouquet, staring at the empty space where Daniel had just been standing. My mind could not process what just happened. This was not real. This could not be real. And then I heard the whispers, the gasps, people standing up. Someone said, "Oh my God." Someone else said, "Did that really just happen?" I looked out at the guests. Everyone was staring at me. Some looked shocked. Some looked sorry for me. Some looked like they could not believe what they just witnessed. Jenny ran up to me. "Rebecca," she said. Her voice sounded far away. "Come on. Let us go." I could not move. I just stood there. And then my legs gave out. I collapsed. Jenny caught me. I started crying. Sobbing. So hard I could not breathe. Jenny held me. Other bridesmaids ran up. They helped me walk to the back room. Away from everyone. Away from all those eyes staring at me. My mother came running in. "Rebecca," she said, "are you okay?" I looked at her through my tears. "He left me," I said. "He left me, Mom. Why did he leave me?" My mother's face was hard, cold. "I told you he was not right for you," she said. Those words cut through me like a knife. In that moment I hated her. But mostly I hated myself. Because maybe she was right. Maybe Daniel was not right for me. Maybe I was not enough for him. Maybe I did something wrong. I spent the next 3 years believing that lie. Until the day my sister found the bank statement. The day I found out the truth. The day I learned that Daniel did not leave me because he did not love me. He left me because my mother paid him $50,000 to destroy me, and nothing was ever going to be the same again. After Daniel left me at the altar, I fell apart completely. I could not eat. I could not sleep. I could not stop crying. Jenny stayed with me for the first week. She held me while I sobbed. She tried to make me eat. She tried to tell me it was not my fault. But I did not believe her. I kept thinking about what I did wrong. What I said wrong. Why was I not enough for him? Daniel disappeared. He changed his phone number. He moved out of our apartment while I was at my parents' house. He took his things and left. No explanation. Nothing. I tried to find him. I called his friends. I called his brother. No one would tell me where he was. His brother said Daniel needed space. That he was sorry but he could not talk to me. I went back to the apartment we shared. All of Daniel's stuff was gone. His clothes. His books. His coffee mug. Everything. It was like he never existed. I walked through the empty rooms and cried. How could someone I loved just disappear like that? How could he leave me without even telling me why? My mother kept saying I told you so. Every time I saw her she would say you are better off, Rebecca. He was not right for you. You will find someone better. Someone who deserves you. But her words did not help. They made me feel worse. Because maybe she was right. Maybe Daniel was never right for me. Maybe I was stupid for not listening to her. I stayed with my parents for 2 months. I could not go back to the apartment. There were many memories. My father Robert tried to comfort me, but he did not know what to say. He would just pat my shoulder and tell me things would get better. My sister Sarah would come over and watch movies with me. She was the only one who did not make me feel worse. After 2 months I decided I needed to leave. I needed to start over. Somewhere new. Somewhere without memories of Daniel. Somewhere I could rebuild my life. I got a job in a city 3 hours away. I packed my things. I said goodbye to my family. And I left. The first year was hard. I worked. I came home. I stayed in my apartment alone. I did not date. I did not go out. I just existed. I was too broken to do anything else. But slowly I started to heal. I made a few friends at work. I started going to therapy. My therapist told me that what Daniel did was not my fault. That his choice to leave had nothing to do with me. That I was enough. I wanted to believe her. But part of me still did not. By the second year I was doing better. I was going out more. Smiling more. Laughing sometimes. I even went on a few dates. Nothing serious, just coffee, dinner, but it felt good to try. It felt good to feel normal again. And then I met Marcus. Marcus was a lawyer. He was kind and patient and respectful. He did not push me. He let me open up at my own pace. When I told him about Daniel and the wedding, he did not judge me. He just held my hand and said, I am sorry that happened to you. You did not deserve that. Marcus and I started dating. It was slow, careful, but it was good. He made me feel safe. He made me feel like maybe I could trust someone again. Maybe I could love someone again. We had been together for 6 months when everything changed. It was a Saturday afternoon. I was at home with Marcus watching a movie. My phone rang. It was Sarah. I answered. Hey, Sarah, I said. What is up? Rebecca. Sarah. Sid. Her voice sounded strange. Shaky. We need to talk. In person. Can I come see you? I sat up. Sarah, are you okay? What is wrong? I am fine, Sarah said. But I found something. Something about Daniel. About the wedding. I need to show you. Can I fly out there this weekend? My heart started racing. What do you mean, something about Daniel? I cannot tell you over the phone, Sarah said. I need to show you in person. Please, Rebecca, this is important. Okay, I said. Come this weekend. I will pick you up from the airport. Sarah arrived 2 days later. I picked her up. She looked nervous, guilty, like she was carrying a secret that was too heavy. We drove to my apartment. Marcus was there. I had told him Sarah was coming and that it was about Daniel. Marcus said he would leave, but Sarah said no. She said he should stay. That I would need him there. We sat down in my living room. Sarah pulled out her laptop. She looked at me with sad eyes. Rebecca, I do not know how to tell you this, she said. So I'm just going to show you. She turned the laptop toward me. On the screen was a bank statement. My mother Patricia's bank statement. I looked at the date. It was from 3 years ago. 2 days before my wedding. There was a transaction. A transfer. $50,000. Sent to an account I did not recognize. But the name on the account made my blood run cold. Daniel Morrison. My Daniel. The memo line said as agreed. I stared at the screen. I read it again. And again, I did not understand. Why was my mother sending Daniel $50,000? What did his agreed mean? I looked up at Sarah. What is this? I asked. Sarah took a deep breath. I have been helping Mom organize her finances, she said. She asked me to go through old statements and organize everything. I found this. At first I did not think anything of it. But then I saw the date, 2 days before your wedding. And the amount, $50,000. And the name. I felt sick. I felt like the room was spinning. Are you saying I started but I could not finish the sentence? Sarah nodded. I think Mom paid Daniel to leave you, she said quietly. No, I said. No, that is not possible. Mom would not do that. Rebecca, Sarah said. Look at the date. Look at the amount. Look at the memo. As agreed. What else could this mean? I stood up. I started pacing. My mind was racing. This could not be true. My mother would not do this to me. She would not pay my fiancé to leave me. At the altar. She would not destroy the happiest day of my life. She would not. But the evidence was right there. $50,000. Sent to Daniel. 2 days before he left me. Marcus stood up and walked over to me. He put his hands on my shoulders. Rebecca, he said. Look at me. Breathe. I looked at him. I could not breathe. I felt like I was drowning. How could she do this? I whispered. How could my own mother do this to me? We need to find Daniel, Marcus said. We need to hear his side. We need to know the truth. Sarah nodded. I already found him, she said. I looked him up on social media. He lives in Oregon now. He is on Facebook. I can send you the link. I sat back. Down. My whole body was shaking. For 3 years I thought Daniel left me because I was not enough. Because I did something wrong. Because he did not love me. But what if that was not true? What if he left me because my mother paid him? I need to talk to him, I said. I need to hear the truth from him. Sarah sent me the link to Daniel's Facebook profile. I opened it on my phone. There he was, Daniel. He looked older, different, but it was him. I stared at his profile picture. The man who left me at the altar. The man who destroyed me. The man who might have been bribed by my own mother. I sent him a message. My hands were shaking as I typed. Daniel, this is Rebecca. I know it has been 3 years, but I need to talk to you. I know about the money. Please, I just need to know the truth. I hit send, and then I waited. I stared at my phone, waiting for the 3 dots to appear, waiting for him to respond. But nothing happened. An hour passed. Then 2 hours. Nothing. Maybe he will not respond, Sarah said. He will, Marcus said. If he has any conscience at all, he will respond. We waited all night. I could not sleep. I just stared at my phone. At 2 a.m. I finally fell asleep on the couch. When I woke up at 7 a.m., I checked my phone immediately. And there it was. A message from Daniel. Rebecca, I'm so sorry. I will tell you everything. Can we meet? I owe you the truth. I have owed you the truth for 3 years. I am in Portland. If you can come here, I will explain everything. I promise. I read the message 3 times. My heart was pounding. He was going to tell me the truth. After 3 years, I was finally going to know why he left me. I am going to Portland, I said to Marcus and Sarah. I am coming with you. Marcus said immediately. Me too. Sarah said. 2 days later, we were on a plane to Portland. I did not tell my mother where I was going. I did not tell my father. I just left. Because if what I thought was true, then I did not know if I could ever speak to my mother again. We landed in Portland that afternoon. Daniel had given me the address of a coffee shop. He said he would meet me there at 3 p.m. We drove there. My hands would not stop shaking. Marcus held my hand the whole drive. You can do this, he said. You are strong. You deserve to know the truth. We walked into the coffee shop. And there he was, Daniel, sitting at a table in the corner. He looked up when I walked in. His eyes filled with tears. He stood up. Rebecca, he said. His voice cracked out. I walked over to him. Marcus and Sarah stayed by the door, giving us space. I sat down across from Daniel. He sat back down. We stared at each other. 3 years. 3 years since I had seen his face. 3 years since he destroyed my life. Tell me the truth, I said. My voice was cold. Did my mother pay you to leave me? Daniel looked down at his hands. Yes, he said quietly. She did. And just like that, my whole world shattered again. I sat there staring at Daniel. His words echoed in my head. Yes, she did. My mother had paid him. My own mother had paid my fiancé to leave me at the altar. I felt like I could not breathe. Like someone had reached into my chest and ripped out my heart. Tell me everything, I said. My voice was shaking. I need to know everything. Daniel took a deep breath. He looked up at me. His eyes were red. He looked like he had been carrying this guilt for 3 years. And maybe he had. Your mother came to see me 3 days before the wedding, Daniel said. She called me and asked to meet. She said she wanted to talk to me alone. I thought maybe she wanted to make peace. To finally accept me. So I agreed to meet her. Where did you meet? I asked. At a restaurant downtown, Daniel said. She was already there when I arrived. She looked calm, cold. She did not waste any time. She told me to sit down. And then she said, I do not think you should marry my daughter. I felt tears starting to form in my eyes. What did you say? Daniel looked down. I told her that I loved you. That we were getting married, and nothing she said was going to change that. I thought that would be the end of it. But then she smiled. And she said, what if I gave you a reason to change your mind? Daniel paused. He looked like it was painful for him to say the words. She pulled out her checkbook. He continued. And she said, I will give you $50,000. Right now. All you have to do is leave Rebecca at the altar. I felt sick. I put my hand over my mouth. Oh my God, I whispered. I told her no, Daniel said quickly. I told her she was insane. I told her I would never do that to you. But then she said something that changed everything. What did she say? I asked. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. She said my mother was sick, that she knew about my mother's medical bills, that she had done research on me. She knew I was struggling to pay for my mother's treatment. She knew I was drowning in debt. And she said $50,000 would cover everything. I stared at him. So you took the money. Daniel nodded. His tears spilled over. I know there is no excuse, he said. I know what I did was unforgivable. But Rebecca, my mother, was dying. The doctor said she needed treatment we could not afford. I was working 2 jobs and it still was not enough. And your mother knew that. She used it against me. That does not make it okay, I said. My voice was getting louder. You left me at the altar, Daniel. In front of 200 people. You destroyed me. You broke me in a way I did not think was possible. And you did it for money. I know, Daniel said. He was crying now. I know. And I have hated myself every single day since. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was saving my mother. But all I did was destroy the woman I loved. Did you love me? I asked. Or was that a lie too? Daniel looked at me. I loved you so much, he said. You were everything to me, Rebecca. Leaving you was the hardest thing I ever did. But your mother convinced me it was better this way. She said you deserve someone who could give you a better life. Someone with money. Someone who was not struggling. She made me believe I was doing you a favor by leaving. You are not doing me a favor, I said. You destroyed me. I spent 3 years thinking I was not enough. Thinking I did something wrong. Thinking you left because you did not love me. Do you have any idea what that did to me? Daniel put his head in his hands. I am so sorry, he said. I am so sorry. Did your mother live? I asked. Did the money save her? Daniel shook his head. No, he said quietly. She died 2 months after the wedding. The treatment did not work. So I took your money. I destroyed your life. And my mother died anyway. I have to live with that every single day. I sat there in silence. I did not know what to feel. Part of me wanted to scream at him. Part of me wanted to forgive him. Part of me just felt empty. There is something else I need to know, I said. Did my father know? Daniel looked up at me. Yes, he said. Your father was there. What? I said. My voice was barely a whisper. When your mother met me at the restaurant, Daniel said. Your father was sitting at another table. I did not see him at first. But after your mother made the offer, I saw him. He was watching us. Your mother looked at him and nodded. And he nodded back. He knew Rebecca. He knew what she was doing, and he did not stop her. I felt like the ground had disappeared beneath me. My father knew. My father watched my mother bribe my fiancé, and he said nothing. He let it happen. He stood next to me as I walked down the aisle. He watched me get destroyed. And he knew the whole time why it was happening. I stood up. I could not sit there anymore. I could not look at Daniel anymore. Marcus walked over to me immediately. He put his arm around me. Are you okay? He asked quietly. No, I said. I am not okay. I looked at Daniel one more time. Thank you for telling me the truth, I said. But I will never forgive you for what you did. You were weak, and you chose money over me. I hope it was worth it. It was not, Daniel said. His voice broke. It was not worth it, Rebecca. I lost everything. I lost you. I lost myself. I have not been the same person since that day. Good, I said. And I walked out. Marcus and Sarah followed me. We got in the car. I sat in the back seat and stared out the window. I did not cry. I was too angry to cry. My mother had done this. My mother had destroyed the happiest day of my life. My mother had paid $50,000 to humiliate me in front of everyone I loved. And my father had helped her. We need to go back home, Marcus said. You need to confront them. I nodded. Yes, I said. I need to see my mother. I need to hear her say it to my face. We flew back that night. I did not sleep on the plane. I just sat there staring at nothing, planning what I was going to say, planning how I was going to confront the woman who gave birth to me, the woman who was supposed to love me, the woman who destroyed me. The next morning I drove to my parents' house. Marcus and Sarah came with me. I did not call ahead. I did not warn them. I just showed up. I knocked on the door. Hard. My father opened it. Rebecca, he said. He looked surprised. What are you doing here? I need to talk to Mom, I said. My voice was ice cold. Robert looked nervous. She is in the living room, he said. Is everything okay? I pushed past him and walked into the house. My mother was sitting on the couch reading a book. She looked up when I walked in. Rebecca, she said, smiling. What a nice surprise. I stood in front of her. I pulled out my phone. I opened the picture of the bank statement that Sarah had sent me. I held it up so my mother could see it. Did you pay Daniel $50,000 to leave me at the altar? I asked. My mother's face went white. She stared at the phone, then at me, then back at the phone. Where did you get that? She asked quietly. Sarah found it, I said. Answer the question, Mom. Did you pay him? My mother put down her book. She stood up. Yes, she said. I did. I felt like she had slapped me, even though I already knew the truth. Hearing her admit it out loud was different. It made it real. It made it final. Why? I asked. My voice cracked. Why would you do that to me? My mother looked at me with cold eyes. Because he was not good enough for you, she said. He was a teacher, Rebecca. A poor teacher with no future. You deserved better. You deserve someone who could give you the life I gave you. Someone with money and status and success. So you paid him to humiliate me? I said. My voice was getting louder. You paid him to leave me at the altar in front of 200 people? You let me believe for 3 years that I was not enough? That I did something wrong? I did what I had to do, my mother said. Her voice was calm, too calm. And I would do it again. Those words broke something inside me. I stared at my mother. And I realized I did not know her at all. You are not my mother anymore. I said. And then I told her exactly what she had lost. My mother stared at me. Her face was hard, emotionless, like she did not care that she had just admitted to destroying my life, like she felt no guilt at all. I looked at her and I felt nothing but anger. Pure rage. You are not my mother anymore. I said again. My voice was shaking. A mother would never do what you did. A mother would never hurt her own child like that. You are nothing to me. Rebecca, do not be dramatic, my mother said. She waved her hand like this was nothing. Like this was just a small disagreement. I did what was best for you. One day you will understand that. I will never understand that, I said. You paid my fiancé to abandon me. You planned it. You bribed him. And then you watched me walk down that aisle knowing what was about to happen. You watched me get destroyed. And you felt nothing. I felt relief, my mother said coldly. Relief that you did not marry that man. He was beneath you, Rebecca. He had no money, no prospects, no future. You would have been miserable with him. I loved him, I yelled. I loved him and you took him away from me. You will get over it, my mother said. You are already with someone new. That lawyer, Marcus, he is much better for you. See? I did you a favor. I felt like I could not breathe. I turned to look at my father. He was standing in the doorway. He had not said a single word. Robert, I said, did you know about this? My father looked down at the floor. He could not look me in the eyes. Yes, he said quietly. I knew. You were there, I said. Daniel told me. You were at the restaurant. You watched Mom bribe him. And you did nothing. My father finally looked up. His eyes were red. I am sorry, Rebecca, he said. I tried to talk her out of it. But you know your mother. Once she makes up her mind, there is no changing it. So you just went along with it, I said. You let her destroy me. You walked me down the aisle, knowing I was about to be humiliated. You are just as guilty as she is. My father opened his mouth to say something, but nothing came out. He just stood there looking broken. I turned back too. My mother, I want you to know something, I said. You did not protect me. You did not do me any favors. What you did was cruel, evil. You broke me in a way that took years to fix. And for what? Because you did not think Daniel made enough money? He did not make enough money, my mother said. She crossed her arms. You grew up with everything, Rebecca. Private schools, nice clothes, vacations. I worked hard to give you that life. And you were going to throw it all away for a man who could barely afford rent. I did not care about money, I said. I cared about love, about happiness, about being with someone who made me feel safe. But you do not understand that, do you? Because all you care about is status, appearances, what people think. I care about your future, my mother said. And I made sure you had a better one. No, I said. You made sure I had 3 years of depression, 3 years of therapy, 3 years of thinking I was not good enough. That is what you gave me. Sarah stepped forward. She had been standing quietly next to Marcus. Mom, how could you do this? She said. Rebecca is your daughter. How could you hurt her like this? My mother looked at Sarah. You do not understand, Sarah, she said. You are still young. One day when you have children, you will do whatever it takes to protect them. This was not protection, Sarah said. This was control. You did not want Rebecca to be happy. You wanted her to do what you wanted. And when she did not, you destroyed her wedding to get your way. My mother's face got red. You have no idea what you are talking about, she said. I found the bank statement, Sarah said. I saw the $50,000. I saw the date. I know what you did. And I'm ashamed to be your daughter right now. My mother looked shocked. She had not expected Sarah to turn against her. Sarah, you do not mean that, she said. I do mean it, Sarah said. What you did was unforgivable. I looked at my mother one more time. I am leaving, I said. And I am never coming back. Do not call me. Do not text me. Do not try to contact me. You are out of my life. Both of you. I looked at my father when I said both of you. He flinched. Rebecca, please, my father said. Can we talk about this? No, I said. There is nothing to talk about. You chose her over me. You let her do this. And I will never forgive you for that. I turned and walked toward the door. Marcus and Sarah followed me. My mother called after me. Rebecca, you are being ridiculous. You will regret this. You will come back. You always do. I stopped at the door. I turned back one more time. No, Mom, I said. I will not. You destroyed the most important day of my life. You made me hate myself for 3 years. And you just told me you would do it again. I am done. Goodbye. I walked out. Marcus and Sarah got in the car with me. I drove away from that house. Away from my parents. Away from the people who were supposed to love me but chose to hurt me instead. Sarah moved in with me the next week. She said she could not stay with our parents anymore. She said she could not look at them the same way. I understood. Neither could I. I went to therapy. I told my therapist everything. About the bribe, about my mother, about my father knowing. My therapist said I had every right to cut them out of my life. She said what they did was emotional abuse, that I needed to protect myself. So that is what I did. My mother tried to call me every day for the first month. I never answered. She left voicemails. Long voicemails where she tried to explain herself. Where she said I was overreacting. Where she said I would understand when I was older. I deleted every single one without listening to them. My father tried too. He sent me letters. He said he was sorry. He said he should have stopped my mother. He said he regretted everything. But his apologies meant nothing to me. He had his chance to do the right thing 3 years ago. And he chose not to. Marcus stayed by my side through everything. He held me when I cried. He listened when I needed to talk. He gave me space when I needed to be alone. And 6 months later he asked me to marry him. I said yes. But this time I did not have a big wedding. I did not want 200 people. I did not want a church. I did not want anything that reminded me of that day. Marcus and I got married at the courthouse. Just us, Sarah, Jenny, and a few close friends. It was small. It was simple. And it was perfect. My mother was not invited. My father was not invited. They found out about the wedding from someone else. My mother called me screaming. She said I was selfish. She said I was ungrateful. She said I would regret cutting her out of my life. I hung up on her. And I blocked her number. That was 2 years ago. I am 31 now. Marcus and I have a good life. We have a house. We have a dog. We're talking about having kids soon. Sarah lives close by. We see each other all the time. Jenny is still my best friend. I am happy. Really happy. For the first time in years I am happy. I have not spoken to my mother or my father since the day I confronted them. And I do not plan to. Some people do not deserve forgiveness. Some people do not deserve a place in your life. And my mother is one of those people. She paid my fiance $50,000 to leave me at the altar. She destroyed me. She broke me. And she said she would do it again. That is not love. That is control. That is cruelty. And I will not allow that in my life anymore. My name is Rebecca. My mother paid my fiance to leave me at the altar. And 3 years later I found out the truth. And I walked away from her forever. And I have no regrets. If someone in your family is controlling you or manipulating you or hurting you, you have every right to walk away. Blood does not mean you have to stay. Family is not an excuse for abuse. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be loved. And you deserve to choose who gets to be in your life. If this story touched you, please subscribe to Her Words right now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another real story. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever had to cut a family member out of your life? Have you ever been betrayed by someone who was supposed to love you? Let me know. You are not alone. We are all healing together. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.